Hey guys, sorry, had to be have a wee snack there. Welcome everyone to I think it was a bad idea to start with that. Welcome everyone to another edition of Dragon Age Suggestions and Predictions. I'm your host Scottish Warrior 92, and in this series I'm going to be doing some predictions and suggestions for the next game in the series of the Dragon Age series, Dragon Age 3. I did the one on the character creator, so instead of I'm going in a certain level. In this one, I'm going to be talking about the Warden from Dragon Age Origins, i.e. your Warden, my Warden, everyone's Warden. And I was going to do one on Warden and Hawk, one video, but I thought they both deserve a separate video for each. So this is one that's going to be specifically on on the Warden. Sorry, I bet that rice went down the wrong pipe. So I'm going to be specifically talking about mainly my Warden and the decisions that I made. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the decisions because I want to do each decision as a separate video. So here I'm going to talk about the Warden, and let's get this started. Now firstly, the first thing that we have to talk about the Warden is, what was your Warden? I'm going to be using mine as a prime example. And mine was a Dalish elf. And he was a good guy. He was very flirtatious as well. He just wanted to help the world be a better place to the best of his ability. And he didn't treat anyone with prejudice. He believed everyone was equal in every way, shape or form. Same as me. Although he wasn't above slicing a few heads off if people pissed him off. So I'll be using my Warden as a prime example. And the thing is though, with the Warden, there are so many variables. There are literally an almost infinite amount of variables when it comes to the Warden. What was your Warden like? Who is your Warden? What race is your Warden? What origin story is your Warden? There are so many variables from the start of the game alone that you have to take into consideration when it's a Warden, because it's just that kind of character. And that's why the Warden's kind of one of my favourite characters, because there are so many variables and variations to the Warden that's unbelievable. Your Warden is a good guy, your Warden's a bad guy, your Warden's a neutral guy, your Warden's an elf, a dwarf, a human, a noble, a Dalish, a city elf, a mage, a rogue, a warrior. There are so many variables. And I'm just going to give you a quick recap of my Warden and what I'd like to see, if I'd like to see him in Mass Effect. I'm just going to say Mass Effect, so I have Mass Effect on my mind at the moment. Dragon Age 3, like what would I like to see as the Warden like? So the first thing I'm going to talk about is primarily the romance. I'll get the romance out of the way because that's the biggest thing. I'm going to do a whole video on romance in the Dragon Age universe because I think it merits its own video. So firstly, I'll tell you who I romanced. My romance in Dragon Age Origins was Morrigan, and that actually for me fits my Warden perfectly. It fits the Warden for me perfectly, especially with the whole dark ritual thing, but that's a whole other topic for a whole other video. And this is what I see the Warden. See, that is one of the variables you have to take into consideration. There's the romance, and also did you play the DLCs? I've got all the DLCs and I have played them all. So that's the thing as well. Like, firstly, we'll go into the Warden. The variables that come from the Warden are tricky and difficult to pinpoint because you can't really use any template as the Warden. There are so fucking many. And I'm struggling to think right now. So I'm going to try and think a wee second. I'm trying to see, when it comes to the Warden, I'm going to primarily be using mine as a reference, as I said, so I'll use mine. The way he is also the decisions he made. Like he wasn't really an evil guy. He really just believed that everyone is equal and people are good if you let them be, but there are people out there who are vindictive, sick and evil bastards who deserve to be slaughtered. And he was very proud to be a Grey Warden and also very proud of his Dalish heritage. And that's where it comes to here. The Warden is quite a vast thing. Like, I don't think anyone will have the exact same Warden, and that's why I think one thing I want to say is I'm hoping that Dragon Age 3 doesn't come out on the Xbox 360 or the PS3. I'm hoping it comes out in the next next evolution of consoles, because there is no damn fucking way from the Warden alone, with the amount of variables that are with the Warden alone and in Dragon Age 2, that Dragon Age 3 will be one disc. If Dragon Age 3 is one disc, I'm scared. Unless it's a Blu-ray, which has hinted at that the Xbox 720 will have. Or PS4 or PC, depending on your preferences. And that's what goes from here. There are so many decisions that the Warden had to make that it's going to really be difficult to get every single one in Dragon Age 3, and same with Hawk, but I'm primarily focusing on the Warden. How did he treat his teammates? Where did his teammates end up? Your party members, how did you treat your party members? Where did they all go at the end of Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Origins? Where did your Warden go as well at the end of Dragon Age Origins? Did your Warden just travel the world? My Warden personally went to go and find Morrigan. He actually travelled the world looking for Morrigan. For him, that was for him, and he went all over. He went with Sten, he went with Liliana, he went with all these people, and that's my Warden. And he's very tricky to pick down. Like, there are a lot of variations, and I don't want to go too much into too many of the decisions that I made, because I really want to save them for other videos. But the Warden's got quite a few ways that he can do it, and that's the thing though. Like, the Warden has so many variables, it's difficult for me to pinpoint, and I'm using mine as a main example. My Warden was a good guy. He treated everyone with respect. He believed that there was good in everyone if you look deep down enough, but if sometimes people are just vindictive and vindictive bastards who deserve to be slaughtered. He wasn't one of these people who believed the ends justify the means. He was in, if he could save lives, he would save lives, but he wasn't above sacrificing one or two people. And the way that I done my playthrough is also going to be very different. And I'm trying to think, like, it's difficult to say. The Warden has so many variables, and in a way I want him to be in Dragon Age 3. I would love to see him in Dragon Age 3, but the thing is though, how would I like to see him in Dragon Age 3? How would you like to see your Warden in Dragon Age 3? There are so many variables when it comes to that. My Warden, for example, travelled the world. That was what he wanted to do after Dragon Age 3, and of course the Daily Shelves got their own land as well because of my origin. The thing I asked Alistair was, could you just give my people a place to settle, please? We want a place of our own, and we got it. And that was very good, and that was lovely the way it ended for me. And then my Warden says, I would love to go back to my people, but I want to find Morrigan, so I'm going to travel the world. So he went all over. And that's what I think should represent what my Dragon Age 3 should be for my Warden. My Warden was a traveller. He wanted to find Morrigan, and at the end of Witch Hunt, he went through the Alluvian with Morrigan. That's what he'd done. And that is, how I think my Warden should be introduced into Dragon Age 3. He went through the Alluvian with Morrigan. So in Dragon Age 3, he has been missing. He has gone missing, but what I'd love to see is if he has been captured, like, he went through the Alluvian, so that explains his disappearance. And if I was going to see him, I would either want to see him coming back through the Alluvian with Morrigan at one point in the game. Like, there are other Alluvians out there. There are plenty of them. I'm pretty sure there'll be a good abundance of them in Orlais, because the Orlesians are the ones that primarily enslaved elves. Also the Tevinter Imperium as well, but blah 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 politics. And the way that first thing that comes to my mind is, if my Warden is to be introduced into the game, he has to have one of two things. Either one, he has to come through an Alluvian. That's how my Warden should be introduced into Dragon Age 3, I think. He has to either come through an Alluvian with Morrigan or without, all depending on the situation. And that's how I would love, like, maybe like the character of Dragon Age 3, whoever it may be. I'm running out of time. Yeah, I'm running out of time. And Dragon Age 3 has to maybe repair an Alluvian or locate an Alluvian, and when he finds the Alluvian, the Warden comes through with either Morrigan or on his own.